Can you talk about playing with Montez Sweat? You're back healthy. Y'all were back out there. The words was flowing. How does it feel to be back with your brother?
Man.
After 20 years, you know we back. No more Snyder, more McLaurin. One forward with the passion, you know we scoring. FedEx field back lit, no it is not boring. John Allen lead the troops, yeah you know we storming. Burgundy and gold in my veins, yeah I bleed that. St. Jude saw the ball, grab a pig, yeah I need that. YouTube, what's going on? It's Juan Gotti here. We another Washington Commanders video, and in today's video, I'm bringing you guys yet another watching with Juan Gotti, as we're gonna be reacting to Chase Young and some other players' press conferences post day 2 of training camp, and we're gonna talk about what they said and much more. So without further ado, let's get straight into today's video. But before we do, make sure you guys go down below, leave a like on this video, subscribe if you're new, and turn on post notifications so you get notified when I upload new videos like this to the channel. We want over to 6,000 subscribers. Please hit that subscribe button again if you haven't already. Thank you so much. Let's get straight into today's video. So yes, here we are, Chase Young's press conference. We also got Emmanuel Forbes and Jahan Dotson coming up next. Let's get to it.
Again, is there a moment, or is there something that when you cut or whatever, that you say, this is not what I felt like 6 months ago, or not what I felt like a year ago?
I ain't about to get too detailed, but just know that I feel good, and I'm running around, and I'm feeling explosive again.
Being a guy who's from around here, what does it mean to have an entire fan base kind of coming back to an organization like this?
Yeah, no, it was great, man. See the fans, it definitely lifted me a lot. I appreciate our fans. I know they're excited about a new ownership, and you know, just the stands itself made it feel, you know, more want a NFL practice for real. But I'm definitely excited that they're here, and I'm definitely thankful.
So basically what Chase Young is saying right there is that the last couple years, it ain't really feel like NFL practice. I mean, and you guys can see the difference, right? In how training camp looked under Dan Snyder and now how it looks under Josh Harris, right? He also spoke to being from this area and knowing how passionate this fan base is and how excited the fan base is about a new ownership change. He talked about his how is he feeling towards his knee. Just said, I ain't going to get into all of that. Just know I feel good. So Chase Young made a couple plays today, and I'm definitely excited about his year in 2023.
Yeah, are the stands something that kind of just stick out right away as you're kind of making that walk down, or what did you think of that this morning?
Yeah, no, that was great. I see Mr. Harris ain't playing games, so that was real cool.
And where did you start to see the shift in the fan base, or how have you seen it shift kind of just in terms of the excitement level over the last couple months?
Yeah, I mean, it's different when, you know, the receivers just running, you know, regular routes on there, and every time Terry catches the ball, I hear the crowd. So I know they hype, you know, and excited, and so are we.
Hey, Chase, I saw some of the other guys were in Florida. You also worked out with Odell Beckham Jr. What did you take away from him football-wise and maybe off the field from a guy like OBJ?
Yeah, you know, as a guy that's had his ups and downs and been through injuries, I got great advice from him, and, you know, it's just, you know, he said when you want to know, he just says we bounce back every time. You get injured, we bounce back, and that's just what we do. So he's definitely gave me great advice, and I can't thank him enough.
Now, thinking about it, Odell Beckham is a really good person to get some advice from. Remember last season he was with Von Miller, that being Chase Young. But Odell Beckham is another good guy because he's had not one but 2 ACL injuries. He's coming off of one himself. So Chase Young getting advice from him and looking at a guy like Odell and the success he's had in the league, that's definitely a great guy to look up to.
Chase, do you feel at all like this year you need to sort of reprove yourself to the fan base, to this organization, now that you are feeling healthy again?
Nah, I'm just going to do me. I'm going to do me like I always do.
Can you talk about playing with Montez Sweat? You're back healthy. Y'all were back out there. The words was flowing. How does it feel to be back with your brother?
Man, I feel great, man. You know, me and Tez, we always with each other in the off season anyway. We don't spend too much time apart from each other, so we worked out. Montez also came to stay with me and worked out with Coach Johnson, so we was getting it in, and we're definitely excited about this season and get it rolling.
Man, I'll be honest with you. I know we always talk about, oh, it got to be this guy, it got to be this guy. Man, I would love for both of them to come back. You know what I'm saying? But the likelihood is that it's either going to be Chase Young or Montez Sweat.
Chase, what
I guess, spurred your decision to go back to Ohio State and work with Randy? Was that something that you had not done with Coach Randy? And was that some Randy?
His name ain't Randy.
Sorry. Whoever you were working with at Ohio.
Larry Johnson.
Sorry. Yes, my apologies.
Nah, it was cool. It was you know, that's who I think made me made me who I am today in terms of a man and player. And I just had to go back and fine tune the little things, the small things, and it was good.
Chase, those games you played at the end of last season, in retrospect, how important was it for you to kind of get that out of the way?
Yeah, definitely, to get back, just knowing that I can go out there again and move around and run around. It was cool for me. It was good.
And I know expectations are not your thing, but how gratifying will it be to be able to get back on the field and whatever happens, you're playing the way you're capable of playing? Yeah,
definitely. You know, that's the plan. That's always the plan. And, you know, taking it one day at a time, and, you know, just bear where your feet at and just staying consistent.
Hey, Chase, as a guy who is from this area, not just on the team, you obviously heard from friends and family and fans about kind of everything that's gone on the last few years. What was that like to constantly have to hear about it off the field? Forget us, just hear from other people.
Yeah.
Like, how tough was that now? You don't have that anymore.
Right now, my family's definitely excited. I think my mom did an interview today. She's excited. My auntie, my dad, everybody's there. They're excited to get it rolling, and just to see the new things that's about to start happening with the organization.
And what does that mean for players in terms of having that change? Does it really feel like a weight lifted to not have to deal with that constant conversation?
I'm sure. Yeah, you know, we know that you know, our owner, he's not playing games, and he's doing things above our heads to make our life easier. And that just makes us play harder and has us more motivated to keep going.
Hey, well, can I get when I'm sure you worked out with Von, you worked out with Odell over the last couple of years. How much do they talk about the year after you came, the year after the surgery, and how big it could be for you, that it takes some time. And so along with that, what are your expectations then for that, knowing you're a year further removed from it?
Yeah, definitely. They just said, the big thing is they said we just bounce back. That's just what we do. And that's my plan. And I guess y'all just going to see what happens.
And then with going back to the brace, the decision to take it off, was it a hard one? And then when you take it off the first time you move, how different did you feel?
Well, I've been had my brace off before camp. So it wasn't too bad coming out here and playing. So I kind of got used to it in the offseason a little bit, running around without the brace. So, I got healthy.
All right, y'all. So that's Chase Young's press conference. A little bit of the takeaways that I had from it was especially the last question, honestly, because we were wondering why he went from the brace to the brace. Is it just a comfortability thing, or is it just him being healthy? And he basically just said, like, hey, I'm healthy now. So all the people that were speculating about Chase Young potentially playing with the brace, maybe it's still up in the air, but I'm pretty sure Chase Young ain't going to be needing that brace anymore. The next person we're going to be hearing from is the first-round draft pick, Emmanuel Forbes. Let's see what E. Forbes got to say for us.
What did you kind of do the last few weeks since minicamp to training camp? What did you kind of focus on? Or
say it again?
What have you been kind of up to, whether it's training or even relaxing since minicamp to now?
I've been training a lot. I had to go back home and see the family before I came back, of course, but I've been training a lot.
And you're getting to watch Sam Howell from a unique position on the field. How have you seen even just going up against him? What's that been like? What do you kind of see as sort of the challenge for you going up against him?
Sam is a great quarterback. Honestly, he knows how to place the ball, he knows how to control the offense, and just make sure everybody knows what they're doing.
Hey, Emmanuel, just wondering what your, talks or discussions with Chase have been since you've gotten a chance to talk to him at all since camp started?
You said Chase?
Yeah.
Chase Young? Chase he's an excellent mentor. He's making sure I know what I'm doing and how I'm doing it, and just make sure I'm doing okay.
I ain't gonna hold you, y'all. I mean, I ain't gonna give him too much slack because it's the beginning of camp. But the beat reporters, man, they a little rusty, ain't it? Or is it just me?
How's he doing that?
He just always talking to me and just giving me advice. So.
Hey, Emmanuel, there's obviously a lot of elite receivers in this division. You get to go up against Terry, and there's other great guys in this roster as well. But when you line up one-on-one against Terry, whether it's, kind of a zone situation where you're going to have to match him, or you're in man, what is that like to face him versus what you faced at the college level, or, when you're going against some of the guys that are not quite at Terry's level?
Well, he's one of the top receivers in the NFL. So he's just going out there, making me better each and every day, and making him better each and every day we compete.
What is it to you that makes him special?
Terry, he just knows and understands routes and like stems and things like that. He knows how to use his eyes well. So I would say he has a big catch radius, and he's really good at what he does.
What are some things that you've learned from the nutritionist, and how are you applying that into your current diet?
Honestly, just eating healthy and just maintaining my weight, helping me maintain my weight.
Alrighty, that was Emmanuel Forbes' press conference after day 2 of camp, and it wasn't really much said that we already didn't know about Emmanuel Forbes. The only thing that I can really take away from Forbes is his last question, and that's where does he want to see himself with his weight? He said 170, 180, and again, that's quite honestly okay, as long as he can be out there and he can hold his own. He did talk about going up against Terry McLaurin and how that is going to be a positive impact for both players, and that's one thing that I can say. Oh, y'all know I would have much rather wanted Christian Gonzalez, but one thing I can say that Terry has, or Emmanuel Forbes rather, has kind of the upside on is that in practice he's going up against these star-studded wide receivers. Christian Gonzalez isn't, and that is only going to help Emmanuel Forbes. Hey, y'all, so the last person that we're going to be watching today is Jahan Dotson as he spoke to the media. Let's hear what Han has to say.
Along with all the other guys, we've had a group of guys, we went down to Florida, spent some time together, which was pretty cool to get together with the guys and just spend time and just, gel a little bit as a group.
What was that experience like in Florida? What were you guys able to kind of accomplish, and what maybe happened that was a bit of a surprise?
Yeah, we were able to just get with each other, on the field and off the field, going to dinners, different things like that, and just getting that chemistry on the field, getting the feeling for routes, being that we're in a new offense, getting that timing down, so making sure we're on the same page as the quarterbacks and all the receivers and tight ends.
And now that you're here for camp, what is your expectation offensively with this new system and Eric and EB and what he wants to put in, how he wants to put his stamp on the offense?
Yeah, we're moving pretty fast, but our job as an offense is just to get familiar with all the different terminology, everything that we're used to doing, kind of just filtering that into this new offense. And just getting familiar, because the more we get familiar, the faster we're going to be able to play. So that's really what this camp is for, just to get that timing down with everyone and get familiar with the playbook.
Hey, John. From what I've heard, you're a pretty good Madden player. Growing up playing that game, I know that there was a player for the Houston Texans in the secondary saying that it familiarized him with route concepts and stuff. Did playing the game, help you learn it in a way?
Not too much. Maybe a little bit because I played it so much. But I feel like I'm a pretty savvy football player. I kind of just picked it up as I've gone. And I've had a lot of great coaches in my life who really dove into learning coverages. So I feel like I would credit my coaches more than Madden a little bit.
How do you think the rating system's fairness has been this year from what you've seen of the latest release?
Yeah, I'm not a big fan of it at all, to be honest with you.
Nobody.
I'm gonna have to talk to Chad Ochocinco a little bit, get my rating boosted up. But we'll deal with it for now.
Do a lot of guys care about their ratings and stuff?
Nah, not at all.
Hey, Jahan, wanted to build off of your Florida trip with the other guys. Have you seen it already sort of paying off? I know this is day 2, but does it feel like you guys maybe are ahead of where you could have been if you didn't go?
Yeah, for sure. And that's really why we went down there, to be ahead of the curve, because we know it's not a lot of time that you have before preseason hits, and then you're right into the season. So we know every chance that we got, it was going to be big for us to get together and get that timing down. So that's pretty much what that trip down to Florida was for, just to get the timing down and get familiar with the guys, get that chemistry going, because we know it can come fast.
Is there anything you learned about one of those guys down there that surprised you, or like someone has some weird habit of some sort that you can share?
Not really. Yeah, I don't know. I can't think of anything.
And then for you, I know there's a lot of focus on the quarterbacks learning the playbook, but for you, are you working with someone, a friend? How are you, making sure you know what's going on in the playbook?
I mean, myself, I'm going home after practice and pretty much running through the plays in my kitchen. That's kind of how I do it. I'm used to just, hands-on stuff. I haven't been working with anyone individually, but, any chance we get to talk some routes through with the quarterbacks or different type of things that we see as receivers, we get to talk through with the quarterbacks. It helps just get that chemistry going.
Hey, Jahan, just kind of a two-part question. Has EB pointed out anything from the Chiefs system in recent years where he sees you filling that role this year for him, his offense?
I wouldn't say specifically anything, that he's been a part of that he kind of told me I was going to be. I'm just kind of out there just learning the playbook, making sure that I'm familiar being at every position, so I can build my versatility in the offense, and I'm able to kind of plug and play in the offense and learn everything.
Just from the outside looking in, it seems like kind of you're a quiet and you're kind of reserved guy, but I think in a podcast this offseason you mentioned how confident you are in your abilities and possibly having a breakout year. What made you want to come out and kind of make that statement?
Yeah, because I just know how hard I've been working. Obviously, putting in all the work, I feel like I was truly blessed with the ability to be able to play this game at a very high level. And I feel like I've been adding on to that with my work ethic. So I feel like, I have all the confidence in the world right now.
What'd you make of Josh Harris's address to the team yesterday?
Yeah, it was pretty cool to get to talk to him for the first time. He talked to the guys a little bit about his background and where he comes from and all that he does. And it's definitely pretty cool to have that going on. I try to stay too much away from that side of the football, because I'm just so focused on what I'm doing out here. But it is definitely a pretty cool thing to have him come and speak in front of the team and have him out of practice yesterday.
Hey, Jahan, does it make a difference to have a crowd out there for practice?
It's definitely pretty cool just to see the fan base coming out, the big stands. We got a new addition to the practice field. But honestly, when I'm out there, I don't hear anyone. It's kind of like I'm in a tunnel. I don't really hear anyone, but it's definitely pretty cool to see all the support that we have, and we know that DC is kind of behind us now, and we're super excited for it.
All right, y'all. So that was Jahan Dotson's press conference. He had a couple things to say, basically doubling down on his words that he said on the podcast earlier this offseason that he will have a big year and he's confident in his work. He spoke to Josh Harris and how it was, great meeting him and stuff like that. But overall, I'm excited for Jahan Dotson in 2023 and think this could be a big year for him also. Burgundy and gold in my veins, yeah, I bleed that. St. Juice or the ball, grab a pig, yeah, I need that. 1999 when it went wrong, but now we gone, it's time to party like it's 99. Chase young off the edge, hey, what's up, 99? The Predator's back, man, that knee is looking fine.